watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. As far as won't take me, the highest fall, it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me. I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel back again with once again a translation segment for Bitto and also Dangun doing their thing after KT looking like they were going to put up a fight, but it seems like Hanwha Life definitely came up to play today, got that game 1 victory. And we were really looking at the bot lane. Definitely was a really important in how the jungler affected the bot lane all throughout the game. That became the decider for who the winner eventually became with Hanwha Life. And let's see how it went out, because we were looking at some key fights that led up to the key advantages given that was given by all the big teams out there. And really it was all about the buff control was a big factor. How everything all planned out from there. This was right where score went all the way level 2, going to the blue buff, and someone not aware whatsoever, trying to take the smite, trying to get that extra HP from both jungler, but it became score getting the advantage there and getting the kill became the most important thing. But we'll see how it all transpired, because this was really important how score got there in the first place without getting noticed. And this was right around here in that bush area. They're having a hard time, guys. The artwork is not coming to fruition.
Technology!
They're trying again. They're gonna try it again, guys.
Oh.
Hold on. So, they're just explaining in words now. They're just explaining in words now. Literally trying to talk about that bush right there and trying to make sure there was no vision around the area. So ever since getting that buff early, getting to level 2, there was no way for Hanwha Life to know that the blue buff was going to be taken away by score. But it just seemed like that Camille was trying to just predict that definitely the buff wouldn't be taken, especially at level 2. And it was an unpredictable play that Hanwha Life had to overcome after that, because that was a 2v2 key significant fight up in top lane, and we'll also get to see how that went about as well. And it was not really being aware of where each of their junglers were from the opponents, and Camille already was up in the air trying to come from that lane from the river, and someone was already there waiting in that bush, and this was feeling like the Camille was noticed far too late there. And let's see how that went out, because Camille makes a key important play here. It just feels like without that wall, the Camille has a hard time just making a hook shot play, entering into that fight earlier than it definitely wants to, because this was where it was, because if Camille was closer to a wall that could hook shot over, also to get to Linderang faster, it would have been much nicer. But just that extra few seconds of difference that allowed Camille to come in there late, although it seemed as Score was on his way to get there in time. That was the important gank and also that counter gank that tried to come forward from both players, and just going to show one of the advantage that Hanwha Life took early in that game in top lane, and saw how that went about as well. So the reactions coming from the fans were saying that a lot of people saying the Key also getting a good recognition. Key, the Nami God, is what one of the fans said. So definitely putting a lot of praise onto Key's Nami skills there, and saw how that went about as well. It was a very clean win coming in from Hanwha Life, and saw KT falling short on that one. We'll see what Bito has to say for his one-line summary. Let's see what he has to say. It says, Nami is happy, is what it says, and I think that's a general statement, kind of put to a positivity at best. But that's going to be the end of the post-match statement. Sending up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel. And I very recently went to Nami Island, so I could certainly understand this man picking up the MVP. It's Key. It's only, about an hour out of Seoul. It's its own republic here in Korea as well, so not actually part of the country, which is exciting, and Key going to utilize it so beautifully. That Nami play, especially under that turret, was gorgeous.
A Key exclusive also. First Nami in over a year since Tucson played it in June of 2017. The roam timings were good. You don't normally talk about Nami roams compared to Thresh or Blitzcrank or other support pool, but it meant that he had a comically early Mikaeos. Not yet at this present point is when we saw KT really want to get some kills. They got bloodthirsty, but their health bars fell low, and battle Nami too easy.
Oh yeah, and even gets the heal to deny the follow-up kill as well. And look at this, bubble for the movement speed as well, gets right to the edge of the ultimatum, and Score pays the price.
Got 620 gold from taking down the Nami, already on a killing spree at that point.
Yeah, true.
But from there, just some nice dives, well executed from Hanwha Life. They opted into the same Fiesta that KT did. Score a couple of these hook shots into big line CC abilities. Weren't too great to watch, and it was a good start by Score, as the segment on the analysis segment between games showed, but quickly fell apart. Lava quietly having a big performance on the Syndra against the Zoe as well, and back to the drawing board for KT.
Yep, that one was very unfortunate for Score, but yeah, this could be the Hanwha Life 2-0 if we let this happen again on the side of KT.
That happens, we both predicted.
Yep, exactly right.
Because it's
one of those
KT.
things. It's the most KT thing that they could possibly do.
You guys can do it at home. Just think about whether they should win, and then imagine what the result is, and that's how you get to it.
Yeah.
Analysis need not apply.
Exactly. And Hanwha Life certainly looked good when they made KT look silly in the most KT of fashions. Mata, you can see, he doesn't look upset. He played a silly game of League of Legends, exactly like KT won, and he's ready to do it again in game number 2.
See if there's any roster changes. We don't hear about it soon. It seems like it's just going to be the same rosters. I know a lot of global fans would love to see the Kind Boy, but I guess he's in trouble. Maybe he's not allowed to play anymore because Score, he's maintaining the spot.
Or maybe Score just wanted to stay in the seat because he broke his leg and it's too annoying to get up and use the crutches to move around. So even if they wanted to switch him out, he just didn't feel like it. Which could make some sense as well. You can see he is certainly still in the spot. KT probably getting a little bit of a ringing around the ears from the coaching staff. Before we move into game 2, right now, picks and bans. See what the change is with KT now on the red side with the ability to get that counter pick.
And KT lost the Nocturne and Zoe Chicken that they were trying to enact on the blue side, leaving both open, taking a Nocturne ban, saying, yay, we got the Zoe. We already know that Hanwha Life have answers to it, given that one of our reputed Galio players is good old Lava in the mid lane, but he went the aggressive option of the Syndra and it worked out a treat. So you see KT, they don't want to deal with any rubbish. They actually first ban Zoe and don't want to leave it to that last selection.
Yeah, it's just crazy that Hanwha went for the first round Syndra as well last game. Completely projected it into the mid lane, as you would assume. Blind Syndra seems dangerous, but worked out very, very well. Rakan going to be picked up second. As far as bans are concerned, not going to let any of that engage go into the hands of KT.
Wonder if the Swain will fall through bans this time like it did in the second game of the last series. First game of this series was banned very early by KT Rolster. Blue side, Hanwha Life, See what they're loading up for. Right now, not angling for anything too big.
KT this time are going to be banning the Aatrox away as well. So it seems like the red side Aatrox ban is happening for both teams.
See if KT is left to ban Nocturne, they're not. Interestingly, Hanwha Life will ban the Nocturne on blue side.
Talia an option now.
Seems like a Kindred versus Sejuani Trundle kind of matchup. Feels like those three champs, two of them will be on the Rift. See if there's any respect towards a Kindred pick. I wouldn't imagine so. But seeing what KT want to do.
Talia is still standing out as far as bans that we haven't seen just yet, but you're right, Sejuani was also banned in game number 1 by KT. Is Talia finally going to be taken out? So where is the priority going to lie? And does Seonghwan just lock in the Kindred right here?
That would definitely be the front foot choice. You could also avoid the jungle pool and just take whatever kind of shakes out because there's so many available. The Swain Flex pick is one of the ones we mentioned has got through the picks and so got through the bans. Doesn't look like it's going to get through the picks. Huge flex pick on this patch and will be taken first pick by Hanwha Life.
Yep, Sangyu could play it, Lava could play it, or Linderung could play it as well. Linderung, of course, pretty deep pockets as far as champions that he can play to a pretty high level. Now KT need to figure out where that Swain's going, or just decide what kind of playstyle they want to employ this time as well.
You just ignore the Swain and maybe don't want to opt into too many bruisers, but otherwise doesn't tell you anything. Seems like a strong bot lane is what they're going to open with. Varus was certainly not the big problem in game number 1.
No.
So happy to select that. They could take the Morgana. Happens to be open, but wouldn't be a flex pick because they've already committed to the Varus. So won't be the Morgana carry. Little smile there from Marta, still finding some fun in all of it.
Yeah, they could leave it open and just lock in a different priority pick here. Maybe Score could grab his champion. And the Sejuani is going to be exactly what they do decide to go with. Now, KT have the option of leaving both of their solo lanes available and picking that Morgana up last round unless Hanwha grab it for themselves.
And now you actually have a bit of pause as Hanwha because Trundle Swain is such an awesome duo if it's going to be mid lane Swain because the pillar opens up the Swain passive, but the Kindred could also go hunting again if Seonghwan wants it. So one of those two seems almost 100% certain to be locked in. They consider their options and they will be going for the Kindred, so it's going to be another game there for Seonghwan. And he's on hunting season once again.
And thinking about the synergy between these two champions just on their own, Lamb's Respite into Demon Flare when the Swain just straight up can't die. If he times that right, that is a terrifying combination.
The drain of healing means he's likely to tick up even further than the burst of healing from the Lamb's Respite. So, good point. We'll see if that actually ends up being a real combo, but always situationally can come online. Speaking of situations, Linderung says, screw it, Mundo. As KT weren't really able to engineer the downfall of Mundo last time, they could just take Darius now.
Darius or Kennen, both options here for KT. If they took the Kennen, they could flex it bot lane. Marta has played a lot of it.
Kennen wouldn't be able to burst through, but the CC would be reliable for sure. I don't know if this is a comp you want to play Kennen into, and they might just go the GP and start farming because the Ornn and starting fights didn't work out in game number 1.
Yep, I like the Gangplank. Just farm up alongside it. Certainly was the answer to a lot of our LMS teams over at Rift Rivals, as well as our LPL teams when they came up against the Mundo that hadn't necessarily seen as much counter-picking over here in the LCK.
We'll wait and see. Very real chance that Sangyun could be on the Swain, given that he's been largely on mage duty this season. But not locked in. I'm sure not locked in for Hanwha Life yet either. Supports not been selected yet, so we will see a Pyke ban as Key has had some big games on Playmakers. Second game of Nami, seeming unlikely, but always an outside chance.
Yeah, he could, of course, drop back to it. It was a fantastic MVP-worthy performance in game number 1, so you can understand it. I can imagine Hanwha Life probably want to ban away a few supports as well, but Syndra is going to go first, as, damn, they think that Syndra is, like, the best champion ever this patch.
Lava's fallback champion for a long time when he was learning mid lanes. He was transitioning from the support role, was a sub for SKT, was Aiming and Taehoon were the duo that was supposed to be the next starters for SKT, but when he was transitioning, Syndra was always one of his big picks, so already showed command of it in game number 1. They're going to ban it away from Yukal this time, so it seems like Syndra priority on both sides.
That's the thing that I was getting confused about.
But he knows the pick inside and out, so they're just showing a lot of respect. And Yukal Syndra, you'll remember at Rift Rivals, popped off and then some, so very surprising to see Syndra in, but maybe this is a new trend. We'll have to keep the pulse on. Ashban actually comes out, as that was the safe choice into Varus.
And it's KT assuming that Swain will be moved to the mid lane, as well as final ban to come in. Vel'Koz going to be taken away from either UCal or Deft, I guess, if we're going to go some weird lethality Varus in the mid lane of old.
So you could just take Alistair here, you band away the Pike, and there'll be another engage option, and then last pick for mid lane. That's an option here in terms of blind supports. Varus is very, very strong in lane, so there's a lot of different ways you can go do, and Varus Braum will be a lockdown duo.
And think about the amount of CC that they have in an area as well. Absolutely ridiculous with Cannon Barrage as well as Glacial Fissure. Lots of ability to hold people in the same place.
So could just be entire bot lane drafted by Hanwha Life. Ezreal will be the safe choice. That to me suggests engaged support if they do go the route of the Ezreal.
Yeah, and we'll be projecting exactly what they're going to do. No flexibility now in this composition. Unless Key picks something completely weird and we're going to be flexing Mundo down there or something like that. But he's not. This feels like a very key champion in the Soraka. Lahen's just having a very nice performance on it recently.
Will not be an engaged support, but it'd be designed to try to punish the Braum in lane. So I'd be very surprised. See, the Soraka didn't really make sense to me. Waiting to see what the final decision is. They're actually hovering over the Taric. Wow. And they will just be going for a Taric support. Braum was always a lane that Taric could lane into. And if you put on that ultimate, you can disregard the Gangplank ulti and try to make things happen. So they do go for an engaged support, but not the one we expected in the Taric. Is okay, UCal. He's got the smite loaded. I think it's talent time.
Yep, I think it's talent time as well. 3 seconds to go. They've got decent magic damage in the Varus as well as a bit from the Sejuani, so damage share is not too much of a problem, and we've got Swain versus Talon in the mid lane.
And I actually really like it, given that extra info you're alluding to, Atlas, because you can go AP Varus, you look at the bot lane and you say, oh, Ezreal Taric, I'm not going to be bullied around by this lane. I don't need the early Vamp Scepter. I could probably go Rage Blade into National's Tooth against this duo. So that's actually frees up the Talon. And guess what Talon can do with Smite? He can skip over the wall and kill a Kindred Pre-6 real fast.
Extraordinarily fast. Also, take away all of the camps that she wants to be taking as well. Having a monopoly on your own jungle is something that is so useful against the Kindred. We're not going to be having that 600 range Kindred this game because there's 3 junglers that are going to be fighting over it.
Talon is really going to be about hitting the map early because in the late game, he's going to do really a lot of nothing against their team. Yeah. He's going to be able to split push, maybe they can double smite a Baron, but when you're dealing with Lamb's Respite, a Taric ultimate, a Swain, that sounds like a nightmare. So UCal is kind of going to be the one that we're going to have the magnifying glass on. Really impressed with his Galio and his facilitator play. We're getting greedy. We need the carry pants on for UCal.
And he needs a bounce back performance as well after what was a pretty lackluster Zoe game in game number 1. Now Hanwha Life staring down the barrel of an angry KT Rolster. Sometimes when they get angry, it means that they get feedy. Hopefully in this game, it's going to be a different one because these are some exciting compositions. And if it's going to work, it's going to look real good from KT.
Samsung Galaxy Talon skin. Shout out to, of course, the man who will soon be on the bench or maybe even the starting position of Born, who is still on KT, not eligible today, but the Talon that comes out early.
Yeah, Marta very familiar with that particular one. Let's do it. Let's get into game number 2 and see whether KT can strike back. Okay, now just looking over the comps again, Papa, there is a really fun interaction. If Hanwha can all stay together in a late game team fight, they can throw down the ultimate from Kindred and follow it up with the Cosmic Radiance while they're in the Thunderdome.
Theoretically, Swain can be around a lot of people who are very low health because everyone got low during that interaction. And like you say, the Demon Flare could be big. Don't usually see this much. We just need a Kale for even more invulnerability.
Yeah.
But Hanwha Life have done some fun drafting. A lot of people will enjoy. That's a pretty good pose. Love it. All right, UCal. Make us a believer. Late invades on Raptors.
This is not the kind of believer that we want to be.
It's a good ward.
Go down there.
Late invade on Raptors against a Smite mid laner with Talisman is a free invade.
Well, Lava lands it here as Linderung wants to try and get some poke in as well.
Teams around the world will take note if we do see this trend of mid lane smite always contest the enemy Raptors. Otherwise, with Talisman, you take so little damage. You take Rake first, with Talisman, you get all the HP back, and you get a free level 1.
Thankfully, the heal, pretty damn useful as well. Smeb gets himself the passive proc, which is exactly what he wanted.
And he's just taking the Wolf Camp anyway, so he's going to take level 2 and go to lane. So Yukal does get the free level 2 regardless.
Yep, now has the dash as well to jump in on top of Lava, who only has the never move, so we'll have to respect him.
And it's really scary. This is the big power spike, amusingly. It's very early in the game. If you hit level 2 while the enemy mid lane is level 1, he really doesn't have much ability to interact. A second skill is just so insane to have to lane against.
And not to mention the fact that it's Talon as well. I mean, this is a guy that really does just need 2 skills in the laning phase. The Assassin's Path is not exactly one that you care about too much. For laning,
there's going to be a lot of skipping around. Score's job this game is to get the deep vision in, count the camps, get the respawn timers, and allow Yukal to counter jungle. Yukal just about gets through his Raptor camp. Very vicious early in the game.
Counter jungling himself at the moment. I wonder whether he's got Assassin's Path. He does. Level 3 has been hit, so he'll go back to base and then dance his way towards the mid lane once again.
A funnel can't pull out a funnel.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. The solo funnel, the selfish funnel.
Wasn't able to finish off the corrupting potion. I wonder if he would have purchased it if it was available. Just went for shoes. Those shoes are built for roaming, Atlas.
They certainly are. Could imagine Boots of Mobility will be coming in next. Merc utility boots. What a silly thought.
Speaking of silly thoughts, we're going to have a pause.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll have to entertain some silly thoughts, as it seems like Deft's computer is acting up.
Yeah, something's gone wrong. Deft looking very bemused. Not too worried about it. Hopefully we'll have Joel in our ear telling us what's going on.
We're
and
hearing that Deft is experiencing lag. Oh, that's not a good one. A game issue.
Yeah. Especially when it's, you know, tournament realm, things like that. Shouldn't be too much lag. Okay, well, we'll see whether that's going to be actually true. Maybe he's just putting up a bit of a fuss, saying, oh, I missed a cannon creep.
Lag.
Yeah, lag. So I can't, this is unplayable now that I've missed this cannon creep.
But did he ping his MS at the top of the screen? Because, of course, nowadays you can actually prove the lag.
That's true. Maybe he didn't.
Is it wrong that I really want them to be pathing the mouse to the top and right-clicking?
We're going to chrono break so we can see what his FPS is.
Yes,
so what
important
was.
interaction.
Yeah. What his
Sangyun
MS was.
looking a bit nonplussed about all of this. Nonplussed, I should say.
Plussed? Is it plussed?
I think
always
it's
thought it was
nonplussed.
plussed.
It's not.
It's not spelt right, but it is. I thought it was.
I think
just
it's nonplussed. I don't know
really?
for sure. Yeah.
I've been saying nonplussed my whole life.
I don't think nonplussed is wrong.
Okay.
I think it might just be a reviewer's tilt situation. I could also have just learnt wrong.
All right. Well, if we could have some literature student in the that's listening, it'd be really cool if you could
seems
let us
some
know.
generalized game issues involving the connection, so hopefully that can be fixed quickly.
Yeah, hopefully that can be resolved. We could be podcasting for quite some time, though, as you know, game issues like this can take a while to be resolved if it is based on our connection to it.
It's been a while since Papa's Mad Life recorded. We're still not sure
Yeah.
if this is a recording date, but maybe there's the chance we can open it up, as we got a lot of stories to tell from our time
Exactly.
over
We just
in
came
China,
back from China.
from Dalian.
Indeed. Where you look out the window and the most beautiful thing to cast your
It's
eyes
true.
at is a nuclear power plant.
It was a really big nuclear
It was
power plant.
so big, and it was across the road.
Yeah.
I was quite frightened.
It was our local.
Yeah.
You know, some people have a local pub. We had a local nuclear power plant.
Yeah, we did. We did. And Papa, did you grow anything? Any new arms or legs or anything like that?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
I got a little arm on my lower back.
I came away with disappointment, though, so
Yeah, we certainly
we
did
call
that.
it riff rifles.
Oh, dear. So we're talking about our time in China, and we've now diverted to just being depressed again.
Yeah.
We're that guy at the party that just wants to talk about how sad he is.
About how they broke up with their girlfriend
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, it's like,
and
dude,
every
come on.
single... Some people are really... I'm always impressed with the people that can, like, suck the life out of just a very wide range of, like, positive ideas.
Yep, yeah. Well, I don't know whether we should be that guy because we have everyone as a captive audience right now.
I know, but the key word there is captive. They got nowhere to go, baby!
That's true. The LPL hasn't started yet.
Exactly. If you like your League of Legos, professional.
We are the best region in the world that's broadcasting right now.
It's true. Mm-hmm. We have to get very specific with our language these
do
days.
now.
When we keep losing international tournaments, it becomes hard.
Haven't lost any worlds recently, though.
To be fair, a little while since the last Worlds. We got an update from Joel. jumped on Discord to tell us.
Whoa! He skipped out on raid call?
He did for today only.
Okay.
That it seems like we're getting some reconnecting, so it's I imagine the podcast can be lengthened for a little bit.
Yeah, just going to get everyone back into the game. I have a feeling that everyone hops back in, and hopefully we have sorted out connectivity situations. Thankfully, it's not a situation where you've got, a trundle pillar in a weird spot or something like that. And
So
then
here's
we have
something to discuss.
break and do weird stuff.
We've moved to Asia. Of course, we came over from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
The dairy situation a bit different. Not a lot of dairy products around.
True.
Korea, so I know I usually opt out of breakfast. I just skip it, which is not necessarily healthy, but just how I roll at the moment. When you're at a hotel and you have a catered breakfast, you visit it, and you'll know this, Atlas. Of course, we were just in China.
Yeah.
A lot of options at a Chinese breakfast buffet. Do you have kind of this weird hodgepodge of Western and Chinese cuisine you put together to form a Chinese breakfast?
I do weird stuff because
I'm listening.
I'm like a massive fan of broccoli. So if there's any kind of Chinese broccoli,
Give me a breakfast dish that you've constructed then. It's got broccoli in it.
It's basically the Chinese broccoli, regular broccoli, as well as noodles. And so I pretty much make dinner that my parents would make, but I eat it for breakfast.
But do you ever mix in like some of the, because they do have eggs and bacon stuff
and like
there.
chicken sausages.
My secret favorite that I developed, it's not very secret, but I developed it during Worlds when I was over there in China, is fried rice, because fried rice is always at a Chinese breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
Egg, preferably like runny egg, but this egg wasn't runny, sadly,
Yeah.
and bacon together. I know it sounds like a lot of things going on, but together, beautiful.
I think it sort of makes sense as well, because it's like having a hash brown. It does fit into the continental breakfast idea.
And there's no
you've
deep
got that,
fried part, though.
You got the but it's fried and it's just carbs, so that's basically fried rice. I see where your head's at.
It's yummy. All I can say is yummy. So if you guys are an Asian, just put the things together. Don't just have a Western breakfast or a Chinese breakfast. Have a hodgepodge.
Yeah, and I actually learned the Asian breakfast tactics as far as hotels are concerned in Indonesia in about 2008.
So we're aging ourselves.
Yeah.
Now. 10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago.
League of Legends wasn't released.
Yeah, and it was I was quite young, and I was
You were
traveling.
like, what, 35 back then?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, about that. Before I had my first 2 kids, I think, something like that. No. So went over and Meagerang, the proper one that's actually real.
Meagerang?
It's not the one that you buy in the supermarket and it's like extraordinarily bad for you. It was amazing.
Probably
So,
still
like,
bad for you.
Noodles for breakfast became like that was my staple, and especially when I hadn't traveled with my parents, without my parents, very often, it was really nice to have this safe breakfast that I knew I would enjoy. So I've branched out from that since
I'm
then.
impressed. Go out there, be crazy, be bold, OGN Legion. Mix up your breakfasts.
Yeah.
Get
And have
frisky.
a bowl of cereal at the same time, There's no one holding you back. There's no etiquette when it comes to eating a breakfast buffet. It's a buffet for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mix it all together.
exactly.
Well, we're a
Or
bit mixed
maybe-
up
maybe
here
not
in Korea.
all together.
All together. Don't you dare take it back, Atlas.
Oh, God, okay.
We're all a bit mixed up because it seems like the connection issues are persisting for now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting some updates.
It
Sounds like
seems
things
to
getting
be
better
resolved.
at least.
Okay, we've
All right.
Joel's popped in. Apparently, the connection to raid
Oh,
call
I heard
certainly
the
there.
R word. I heard resuming.
Oh, resuming.
It could also be, of course, pausing after resuming.
That's true. We'll test the waters, won't we? As Deft looks like he's in game because the man's face was, like you said earlier, very nonplussed or nonplussed.
I think it's plussed. Smeb has gone for Klepto this game, so trying to farm it up against the Mundo. Very, very predictable.
Sungyun has gone for losing half of his health bar in a really bad trade as Sungyun gets reset.
Yeah, Sungwon went for the have the blue buff reset on you while trying to bounce around. Really would like blue buff because he's run out of mana.
Yep, and also ran out of his W as well, which does slow down this particular take. So slowing himself in the jungle, bad news because all of his camps could potentially be taken.
Excited to see the Talon start roaming. That's what it's all about this game. We said not necessarily a hard timer, but in so many ways I counted as. Speaking of timers.
Yeah, they already get the flash from Score as well. They get the never move, but it's going to be Lava dead. He doesn't even need to look at it. The Rake picks it up and first blood to Yukao.
So important they hit this timing. We were just about to get to how screwed this Talon is in the late game if he doesn't get snowballing. It's even worse than normal. Can smite the cannon, get a full reset. That means that the teleport at 4 minutes doesn't actually bail him out and get a freeze going because they were able to get the full push in.
Yep. all the way there. It's why this smite is so useful, and there's the boots of mobility that we were talking about already. This guy's going to be everywhere. He's got himself a little sword, but those boots were made for Roman like you were talking about before, and now they're real damn good at it.
And now, you just have no idea what to expect, because you won't see a ping out from mid lane until about 4:44. That's where you would expect Yukao to be around. Now they see him, but he's on a ward, so Linderung won't go down.
Yeah, he was thinking about jumping over that big fat wall there as well. Doesn't quite get in there, but Smeb, he's more than happy on the top side. Even in farm, he's got a pack of cash sitting in his back pocket as well that the Klepto got him, and he was very comfortable. The Sapphire Crystal start for the gameplay.
Yukao has a lot to prove. Remember, Resident Pawn is going to be available from the weekend, and he is the one who got this world skin on the Talon. So
yeah.
if you're going to play Talon when you have Pawn on the bench, you better be good.
Well, someone's going to spot Score out here as he just got his first mark. Picked up that Scuttler on the bottom side, but Score is going to be able to lock this one down. Knew exactly what was going on, and Marta was already roaming up, so not wanting to take too much with Songwon.
Deft and Marta want to keep it non-interactive. Deft went for the Moen special instead of Cull. What a beast.
Good God.
But he's not going to go Bilgewater, so the on-hit lifesteal is at least a bit of sustain. We're heavily expecting this to be AP Varus.
Well, Songwon, we're heavily expecting him to struggle to take down this Ocean Drake, who hits like a truck 5 minutes in, and he's only level 4. But we'll see whether he can do it. Does still have the smite, of course.
Has the heal too, so quite hard for Kindred to die. Maybe he'll impress us.
Yeah. So the smite does come in though, and that's going to do it. Locks it down with the E, gets himself over the wall. So Songwon successfully grabs a 6-minute Drake. Could have a few in this game.
Really early as well. Worth noting that if Lava can hit the Never move, Yukao has just a longsword for laning stats. The rest of his gold is spent on things to help him jungle and move fast, so...
Yeah, in fact, in the laning phase, while he's walking around hitting people with stuff, he's got brown bags and a sword.
But now he's got 6 items, baby.
Oh, but that's the Zed special.
That's every AD assassin. It'll work out. They all build into the items they want. Perhaps Tiamat, otherwise the lethality, so many ways you can go. The usual you see is the early Tiamat for wave there, but in pro play sometimes we just see a Yoma's Ghost Blade or a Dust Blade and just start killing other people. There's also a way to go.
I think the last time that we saw it successfully was Maple over in Rift Rivals, and I think he did go for the Tiamat build like you were talking about. Then followed it up.
Usually. It's about the Rake and then the Tiamat proc on the ranged minions to push fast.
Yep. It was actually, last time I saw it was last night watching Bjergsen's stream.
Hey, Yukao. He's on a roam.
Yeah, and he's going super damn fast. It's like a human ward right now. His minion wave hasn't even come back yet.
He can one-shot Kindred, who's still level 5. But now he's been gone so long, it's going to be pretty conspicuous.
And
Level
now
6
Lamb's
is hit.
Respite is there, yeah.
Score awkwardly, level 5 still. Songwon will path through mid a lot more in this matchup because he's scared of the instant kill potential.
Well, the red buff is going to go to Yukao very easily. Now it's going to be a Rift Scuttler. It's going to be picked up by Score. In goes Songwon and Lava. They're looking to try and disrupt these two junglers. Yukao's going to go home, turn his swords into something. I think Tiamat should be there if you'd like to pick it up.
You go back, get the Tiamat, rush back to lane. As you mentioned, Assassin's Path. And the Boots of Mobies means that he can do an Aurelion Soul and just shop a lot of times to get away with a lot of things.
Reminds me of Home Guard Rush Hecarim mid, which was just beautiful. Go back to the shop whenever you want and be instantly back to your lane.
And of course, you bring that up because an OCE original. That was, of course, Keen.
Yeah, the Keen special.
Loved that one.
Not in Oceania anymore, but
Nope.
certainly did grow up there.
He's an NA resident, baby. He's in high demand always.
Yeah.
Oh, Yukao's got his Tiamat, so he can push. Push and roam, push and roam. No 9 points on Lava. A level lead still for Yukao as well, but so far, the disruption of the Talon has only been a kill on the enemy mid laner. It hasn't represented anything else. I guess the big win is Lava's only item, amusingly, gives him magic resist. So that's to stop him just dying to the CC lockdown of Deft, Marta, and Score. Pretty useless for lane, but he looks at the smite and says, maybe I won't be in lane that much.
And the wolf mark goes on the raptor camp, and that's when you're like, oh damn, what a waste of a mark. Just no chance that he was ever going to get that raptor camp ever. Yukao already taking that one down, still hunting for more.
Remember that in competitive play, even knowing the camp timers can be so useful when it comes to coordinating pushes or a lane gang bot side. Yukal goes mid lane. Remember, there's no armor there.
Looking to straight up kill Lava if he could. Doesn't have Ignite, remember, but gets the ultimate out, and that's exactly what you want. Now, he's one rotation away from death.
Still has the stopwatch, but yes, Lava is pretty susceptible in this lane. Stays up because he has Songwon there to provide coverage. If you don't build any armor or health, you die pretty damn fast to a Talon.
Yeah. He's got Merc Treads as well. Doesn't want to get stunned by Score more than anything else. And that's not going to give you any lane stats against the Talon. Now going to build towards Catalyst, so that's going to help him out.
He's got stopwatch, he's got Catalyst now, and like we've already said a couple of times, the Merc Treads needed compositionally, but very useless in lane.
Yeah.
Okay, trying to take stock of what's happened this game.
It's exactly what you said, though, for Deft, so Rageblade will be coming out first. Despite its nerf, still works so well on the AP Varus, which is what we expect.
Nash's Tooth,
the man.
Rageblade, Deathcap, that's usually what we see. Maybe a Zonia's. You have access to really good defensive items if you go for an AP build. The Stasis is usually much more valuable than the Guardian Angel for a marksman or a range damage dealer compared to the melee.
Lava's going to be in trouble here, is going to get stunned up, and now Yukal wants to find more. Good timing on the stopwatch. A point-blank ultimate from a Sejuani is really difficult to get out of the way from, so Lava, really good timing there.
Turret dive is probably the next thing on the menu then, the next time the ult is up.
Yep, Serrated Dirk is available as well, and here's your late-game insurance policy up on the top side of the map. The Gangplank farming out quite nicely as Marta turns up to mid lane. Lava playing aggressively. Hanwha Life, they've got other things on their mind.
Are we going to need a vision lead to make that late-game insurance work? Because in an extended fight, we've already talked about how Cosmic Radiance, Lamb's Respite, and just the general nature of Swain will make Hanwha Life very difficult to kill. Marta's roamed up as they might actually lose out on Rift Herald despite having Talon with Smite and also the Sejuani.
Yeah, they don't have any vision in here as Score finally takes that one down. Marta does want this fight. They want to kill them before the Cosmic Radiance, but they'll fail to do so. Never move lands. Marta blocking a lot of damage here, but now he's low. Linderung turns up at the right time, and now Smeb invests the ultimate for the disengage. They did have to move away from Shelly, so they at least stop the Rift Herald.
Meandered for a long time, but like you mentioned, interrupting the Rift Herald was so important. This game should be free Rift Herald for KT when they have Moby Boot, Smite, Talon in the mid lane. Despite the general strong skirmishing of Kindred, it's not a general game, this is an edge case. Kindred once again leashing it though.
Well, if she's going to try and do it on her own and KT figure it out, this could be real dangerous. Ward goes over the wall and Yukal now knows Teleport is coming in. Hanwha Life understand that things are going to get real worrisome as Key came in with his spellbook, had the teleport already available for himself.
There's certain things that you cannot abide by when you select a composition, and this Rift Herald going to Hanwha Life without it being a receipt for 4 or 5 kills is something that KT will not allow. Hanwha Life will feel good about delaying the game, and now they have Iceborne Gauntlet on the Ezreal. There's going to be a lot of Ninja Tabis coming out for the side of Hanwha Life, in spite of the Rageblade AP build that Deft is going for.
Yeah, already has the Rageblade built up as well. Has that dagger sitting there for the potential Stinger to come in to augment his Nash's Tooth.
And now, after those 6 stacks, plus 6 health per minute.
Yeah.
Perth Auto, I should say. Yeah. Cull Synergy.
The dream. That's why you never underestimate the Phantom Hit.
Very excited to see these two teams run at each other. It seems like we're going to get to that point. No big snowball yet.
Yeah. Someone is going to dance out of the way. Does use the flash. Successful trade. Ult for flash here for KT.
Big assumption to me is that Hanwha Life should comfortably win the team fights, but maybe execution is important.
Yeah, Marta wants more as Key has to use his cleanse to get out of the way, but we are going to have the concussive blows landing. The rest of Hanwha are going to turn up as Key almost had the Cosmic Radiance available, but in goes Yukal, and Deft is actually the one that grabs that kill. They had nowhere to go. Now Songwon suffering the same fate in between the lane. 5 members of KT under the turret, and they want to kill Songyun. He's got a stopwatch, so does Smeb. Marta is going to die. Lamb's Respite will keep them alive, but they're under the turret. Yukal, not a lot he can do, does get the follow-up trade kill, but now Songwon moves in. Lava with the Demon Flare available soon. The trade, I believe, was 2 for 2 as the dust settles. but it feels like we've had a harken back to game 1.
And Linderung stays top lane, had no ability to roam down. And there's no big lead there for KT as Smeb's going to have to ult the minion wave, try to keep that turret alive. Can't allow the Mundo to tip the balance pretty one-sidedly to Hanwha Life.
Yeah. Thankfully now for KT, though, they have the Duskblade of Drakthar for UCal. They've got the Trinity Force for Smeb. So as far as hitting item timings, this is certainly a good moment for them. But they don't want to be putting their face underneath the turret with Lamb's Respite available. That just seems like a bad move.
It's playing around the item timings more so than just hitting them. Bot lane Love is completely surprised here.
Yep, not a lot that he can do. Has to flash to get out of the way, but there's so much CC for the follow-up. They do need to use the ult here from Key, but can they get anything on the back end is the question. True Shot Barrage, oh, never moved. Brings them out of the way so Ezreal doesn't get an assist, but Mata will die in the end.
Someone jungling on the right side of the jungle is there to spare the blushes of lava after the creative bounce over. But the sweeper that KT used, able to pick up another kill to Hanwha Life now. Overall, big winners in the extended trade we saw in bot side. Linderung comes back, the Sunfire Cape is already there. We need to see KT hit the item timings, they've done that, but actually use them right now while the Talon is still a very imposing force. That part remains to be seen.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit nerve-wracking for those KT fans out there because this feels like what was happening in game number 1. It was KT with a lot of control, and then they did some weird stuff and lost the game.
Turret diving a Taric and a Kindred seems like a really tricky thing to do. They killed the Taric, but the Kindred being there was always going to make things wonky. It's so hard with how much ramping up damage turret shots do to disengage after the Lamb's Respite and get a kill. So you're going for 1-for-1s at absolute best and likely just a 0-for-1. So less of that, more of the ward the camps and invade plays. Not seeing so many of them, but the Talon once again hitting the rift. They're looking to kill a Mundo.
Yep, Songwon once again on the right side of the map. He's going to walk over this control ward, and Linderung with the extra movement speed from the sadism and the flash gets himself out of the way, but trading a wall cooldown for a flash sounds pretty good to me.
But trading a flash for your turret living longer and the game extending sounds good for Hanwha Life. They really desperately want to pull this game along. Talon's strength is his ability to take smite and contest camps. We know about that. But also that games end before itemization runs out for him. Games are being decided at 15 to 25 minutes, and then there's not really much comeback mechanics, even on patch 8.13. And so if this game goes longer, maybe we'll see the Talon look a lot more balanced than some of those imbalanced early game snowball fests from the Talon.
Yeah, certainly not feeling like the Talon snowball that I see in my solo queue games, where he gets about 17 kills by this point.
This time.
Yeah, well, we'll see. A lot of it is to do with UCal finding some success pretty soon. Now that those items have finally landed. Deft mixing it up a little bit by the looks of things. Has his Rage Blade, now building just more attack speed on some critical strike.
Could be Hurricane, I guess. Could also just be Rapid Fire Cannon, something more standard. We'll check in, but good spot there. It's not the Nationals Tooth we might have been considering.
Well, Linderung going to get some more work done here on this top outer turret. This will be first turret blood if he can get there. KT, they want to do the same thing on the bottom side, and you can see it's already been conceded.
But it's a really nice ward. You see those Talon exclusive wards that people remember. We know about the Evelyn wards on camps. Warding over the walls that he loves to jump over is another way to answer the Talon. Score would love a Mountain Drake. He's spotted starting it, but we'll see what the overall trade is.
I really like this tempo advantage that Hanwha Life got themselves, though. I'd take first turret blood plus a Rift Herald for Mountain Drake plus second tower. Real nice. They might even be able to get themselves a kill here in the mid lane as UCal has to invest the ultimate. Shadow Assault now on cooldown for quite some time. Songwon will be able to grab that Rift Herald eventually. 18.5 minutes now on the clock, and they take down this turret. They will do so very, very soon, given the fact that UCal can't do anything to stop this siege.
Yeah, they bring the fight to the Smite Talon. What's the boy to do? He's not going to be able to clear the wave fully. The Smite doesn't give him any combat summoners in the 1v1, so you're right. Really ahead of the curve is Hanwha Life, whereas being dictated to a little bit is KT. They did lose that Rift Herald that seemed unlosable in the situation and the composition they'd chosen. It's 3-0 Kindred out of nowhere again. He's got a snowball QSS. Not just be picked, and have KT missed their window. Maybe not just yet, but it's getting close.
Well, Marta's got the door on the wrong side. I've had that problem when I play things like Minecraft. You're not supposed to have it when you play in League of Legends. It's opening the wrong way, guys. Can't actually get there. Get to the boxes inside my weird house that I created. I didn't play any Minecraft. I'm trying to figure it out, but I haven't really got there with the analogy.
That was
moving down the river.
a real Steve Buscemi moment for you there. Hello, fellow kids. I also love the Minecraft.
Yeah. Okay, Sungyun wants to try and clear out this minion wave, though. He's gone for the Frozen Fist, the Iceborne Gauntlet. And he will be able to stop this one from being taken. Yukal not going for the dive. Now the last remaining outer turret to be taken. It's very tutorial mode here.
KT going to feel pressured to do something, otherwise they'll continue to trade down. Smeb can do nothing to deal with the Rift Herald. Squall thinks better of it. We've seen KT rushed in game number 1, and that didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, Rush has done okay.
Well, being in a Rush and Rush himself joining are two different predicaments, but we will see Rush this series if KT lose in game number 2. And a whole load of new memes being created, such as KT Rolster.
I don't know whether they're new. Are they new memes, Papa Smithy?
For some
I feel
people.
like this is the most classic KT.
I've definitely felt like there's been a lot of people finally picking up on the nature
roller
of
coaster,
Rolster, meaning roller coaster, and being the ups and downs. We get new fans every season. It's always great to hear from people who are recent converts to the LCK.
Yep.
Thank you for staying with us. Please don't run away to the LPL. We're good too.
With KT as well, I mean, you get the fans that come in that are diehard, that just love being disappointed. And then they have new fans that come in all the time when they play well and then leave when you have situations like this. Be used to disappointment, guys. Gluttons for punishment are KT fans. And you either love them or you hate them. Runan's Hurricane completed here from Deft, and a very early Mortal Reminder done for Yukal, just trying to cling to some relevance here. Executioner's Calling done for Smeb as well. So Grievous Wounds certainly available across the board.
But if you see what's done, the Rod of Ages Zonias is a lot for Lava. Suddenly Talon really can't teamfight. He has to pick, otherwise he's going to be halted by just the most ways to shut him down. But this is a call to pick.
Yep. Lava should have some trouble, but does, of course, like you were mentioning before, the Zonias was held onto. In fact,
health.
Doesn't even use the cooldown. Ignite
would have drawn out the Zonias and he might have died anyway, but no Ignite on the Smite means that not able to take him down.
Oh, Score wants to try and find Songwon here, gets the knock-up, holds onto the ultimate for quite some time, wants to find a few more targets as Wolf does a lot of damage for the Kindred. Hanwha Life will very handily win that fight. If Key's in there getting the autos, damn, that healing is so relevant from the Taric.
Doesn't even have tier. That build has kind of been phased out for just managing your mana a little bit more judiciously. So what the finish is, looks like it's going to be redemption for another AoE heal.
Good God. They're just going to have so much sticking power. And KT are going to throw everything at them, and they're going to just say, okay.
And we mentioned earlier things like a Flash being traded for a Talon roam, and I said it's about extending the game. Look who's RSVPing definitely hell yes for the extended game.
Oh, wow,
We got a second tier. We've actually seen Play the Ruin King third about 100% of the time on these Ezreals, but Songyun's going old school for the double tier build. Sounds weird to say old school, but it's been very phased out in summer. He's just saying, let's keep going, guys. We got some ELO heaven coming in about 10 minutes' time.
Yeah, an 8-1-3, proving for Hanwha to have slowed down a little bit. We had a approximately 40-minute game in our first series of the night. FLICKR taking Griffin to about 40 minutes in our second game. So you can understand that things slowing down a little, and that's exactly where Hanwha want to win the game, so they may as well. Songyun as well, pretty safe against the Talon because he's got Arcane Shift, can get out of the way.
Kind of wondering why Deft went for an AD build, but that's been happening, so
yeah.
He's going for, I guess, Infinity Edge for if I go AP, I can't kill Mundo, but I feel there'll be other problems.
On hit build is an interesting choice. Yeah, it doesn't even have, like you say, the...
But it's a lot of damage when
King.
the IE is done, so
yeah.
I guess I can kind of understand it since IE lets you cheat and skip armor penetration.
And then you get Phantom hit with the true damage, I guess.
It's just... Don't know what I like more, you know? I think one damage profiles are so risky, and it allows him to just be so clean in his build. He won't really be able to build a Spirit Visage, apart from his own selfish healing ways, but yeah, Talon is being stalled out. KT being stalled out, and they're going to need to make a decisive play in the next 5 minutes, you feel, or just a huge mistake from Hanwha Life to actually find a Baron, which it seems is necessary for KT at this point in the game.
Or continue to let Smeb do ridiculous things. I mean, we know Gangplanks when they get ultra fed. You know, maybe if he picks up His Storm Razor next item, something like that, could be a real problem. But you can see Hanwha starting to get frisky around this river. Got Yukal, he's roaming his way up, but he's flanked by Linderong. And Marta now on his Braum, wants to find his time to engage, but he's now at half health, and Teleport coming in for the flank. Remember, there's no outer turret in the mid lane. KT have to take the long way, and they will give up this Infernal Drake that they really want to stop Hanwha from getting. Score's going to come in, but 1 versus 3. Sorry, Miss Piggy, you got to get out of there.
Talon was able to push bot. Hanwha Life felt pressured into TPing early because they were dealing with split push. Yukal is really behind enemy lines and didn't get the red.
Yeah, Sangyun actually was the one that was able to grab it. Has to flash. Shadow Assault's there. The slow does land. And Linderong spots him out. Now knows that there's no ult. And he's just going to straight up kill him. How the heck is Yukal supposed to disengage this guy? And he doesn't have any of his burst. He's just playing with him. All too easy for Linderong and Yukal. There was just no way.
No commentary required there. The play-by-play was
I did
just...
it anyway, though.
But you weren't even play-by-play, and you were like, he's going to die. And he was, because, you know, the sins of the first 25 minutes are reaped by Mundo when you don't get Snowball as a good old Talon. As mid lane, we are seeing a fight.
Well, now we might see that Thunderdome that we were talking about. We do have the Cosmic Radiance coming out. First, Cannon Barrage completely whiffed by the fact that they were all invulnerable, and Lava, man, he's been holding on to that Zhonya's like it's his prized possession. It does come off cooldown, buddy.
His flash also. He refuses to flash or zone use or really use too much. Gotta say, he didn't need it in the end.
Yeah.
Won't be able to get a big purchase. I guess, not really sure what he was going to be building. I guess Rylai's, Leandri's, Morellonomicon, maybe that's the most likely, but you see blasting one
Amptome would be a great idea.
No, that would be bad.
Yeah.
So hopefully not.
I like the idea of Leandri's here. Feels like you're going to be getting a lot of damage over a large period of time if you do utilize your invulnerabilities well.
There's the Archangels done for Sangyun. Seems like he's going to have the double tier completion around 30-31 minutes.
Yeah, he's stacking real hard this game. Will also be able to head towards his Blade of the Ruined King next to give himself a whole lot of his healing, even if he didn't necessarily need it with King standing beside... Key standing beside him.
Not really sure how much value he's going to get from the extra burst on the ult. That's one of the big advantages of the fat stack of AP is the 1 AP scaling. Braum doesn't really have anything else to Unbreakable, so hard to see how he's going to get a big burst, but he'll try. You best believe it.
Yep.
But the nice thing about going the double tier build is the shield really throws off the damage calculation for Yukal and makes him even more useless in a team fight.
Yeah.
And he was already pretty useless.
And it's only going to get worse as lifesteal comes into the equation as well.
I just want them to build every Screw You Talon item. Because they've already got the Screw You Talon comp.
Yeah. And they've got Gargoyle Stoneplate. That's pretty Screw You Talon. They've got Taric, just in general, just Screw You Talon.
Now
Kindred as well.
Now I want someone to make a bad luck Charlie Brown, bad luck Talon thing. Where it's like, oh.
Yeah, got to put it on a t-shirt.
Bad luck Talon in full display here.
Well,
getting solo killed by Amundo was only the beginning.
Oh, come on. It was because he had to use his ult and his flash earlier on. This is getting solo killed by Amundo.
Well, he can run away pretty good. Ooh, that was a pretty big wall.
Yeah. The fat wall. PH fat. As Chains of Corruption are going to go wide, but at least Marta does land the the Q.
That was a weird timing there where he took the damage, but also Unbreakable to the...
Yep. Marta hitting a Winter's Bite and Chains of Corruption missing from Deft is so opposite, by the way.
True.
If you've seen any of those incredible montages that the Chinese players put together for Marta, he wasn't very good at that Q.
No, I mean, Marta's mechanics when he was in China, especially in 2016, really moved away from him. Then he came to Korea and it was Hook City every game on Thresh. So
yeah.
I guess it was just something in the kimchi, maybe, but was able to make it work when he came back. Score has the old man means, not so much Marta.
Yeah. He's got himself a Gargoyle Stoneplate as well. Rush towards that one after his Cinderhulk completion. Bit of Kindle Gem for the cooldown reduction as well is pretty useful.
So what I want to see, how does KT win this game, says their fan. There's still ways. It's tricky because of the Talon and the problem in team fighting. But the way you use what Talon does have, put him in a side lane, set up a situation where he's split pushing, and then from there, put down some barrels, have the Storm Razor, and have a strong turn-off Baron that Talon also gets in after all the cooldowns are down. There is a way to do that, It's tricky to set up because right now they don't have the map pressure to actually pull that off. But there's the Storm Razor. And finding value out of the Gangplank and the turn off Baron to me is a lot easier than trying any sort of team fight for KT.
Yeah, and the 1-3-1 from KT is definitely going to be something that they can look for as well. I mean, if they can get the right lane assignments with Gangplank versus Mundo and then Swain versus the Talon, could be an opportunity for them to find something, at least shove power into these turrets and keep the pressure on.
Someone loves this ye old Trinity Force but not Trinity Force build.
Yeah.
Second game in a row where
it's like he's
built the
forgotten.
Zeo.
Maybe we haven't updated the recommended items on Kindred just yet. As that's a Seraph's Embrace completed. We've got Vamp Scepter already done here for Sungyun, and Riley's Crystal Scepter was the option for Lava, so going for added utility. They've got slows up the wazoo.
They don't really have stuns up the wazoo, so the slows up the wazoo is probably a decent choice. Means that if Lava ever actually gets in there, he's going to be able to do quite a lot of sticking. Remember that in the same manner that he can gain health while in stasis, he will also be slowing in stasis as well.
Yeah. Well, now Deft has his Infinity Edge, so as far as 3-item spikes are concerned, for an AD carry on this patch, that's one hell of an item spike.
It means that if Mundo runs at GP and Varus, they can kill him, so that at least means one thing. They can actually take him down, take time, but it's possible when the IE is complete, especially when the Phantom hit is online.
Yeah, if he can stand in a mini wave and rack that one up. Smith looking for some barrels, not going to be able to get the chain link onto the Hanwha Life players, as KT have a monopoly over the vision around this Baron. Very different to game number 1, and they've now got about 1,500 gold in the lead.
It's
So
a
that's
Gathering Storm
another
counter.
Infernal.
Really? A Gathering Storm on Swain. Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't often expect that. I would assume to Scorch so that you can try to match some sort of trading. Speaking of trading, Linderong says this is my Infernal, and KT have not started the Baron yet. They go for a fake, but they won't commit to it. And how about a free Infernal for Hanwha Life?
Well, Smeb, he was thinking about a free Infernal for himself, as the Dragon does go down to Linderong very, very easily. He was sitting on the sadism, which is why Smeb didn't chase him down.
Feels so bad to have double smite and be down 2 Infernals, a Ocean Drake and Rift Herald. That's bad.
It's really bad. Those neutral objectives have not been where KT has been prioritizing. As that's going to be a Dazzle that lands onto score, but he's still looking for the re-engage. Weirdly enough, UCal actually back in base, so not exactly the greatest idea. He picked up Edge of Night. Did the Talon just to make sure that he can dictate when he starts these picks. Hasn't necessarily found too many. Now has a Hex Drinker as well, so trying to aim against these magic damage dealers.
Allows him to be a bit more brazen on some of his assassin's paths because he can pop it and then pop over and not just die to someone who's waiting for Talon to jump over a wall. Don't hate it, but is usually the Yomu is going to take the inside track for those lethality items. Might still go there anyway.
Well, I'm just looking at Sungyun, feeling like this Ezreal is going to be able to do so much work. Deft probably not going to be able to, as there's a double teleport towards the bottom side. And now, Linderong, you're not going to be able to stop that, and they're not going to be able to get there in time. He teleports his way out. The Gangplank will go home, but that's what they wanted. They wanted to get the teleport. And look at this, the 1-3-1 actually working out for KT.
Chaos style works out. Deft was the one that baited them down. The TP out from the GP, and in a turret. Nicely done from KT Rolster. They kind of have to do that ad nauseum. More of these plays. Set up a bad Baron decision from Hanwha while Talon split pushing. Speaking of split pushing, how about down the front door?
Yep, Deft is going to be able to knock that one down pretty easily, and now Hanwha, they're desperate to actually find themselves a fight that they want. Arctic Assault gets score out. Hanwha Life, they just get smacked by some barrels, and Smeb seems to have some control. They're still looking for more. Winter's Bite going to go awry. And now KT still trying to get in there. Linderong playing front line, and he is very tanky. Concussive blows not actually going to get procced.
There is a way for KT to problem solve themselves out of a very difficult early game and draft to execute. Does back to their 2017 spring, only early game, only turret destruction, no frontline comps when it comes to winning with this Talon with Smite. But so far, they have made Hanwha Life the full a couple of times in a row. They can profit in a big way, like we see in what is a very gimmicky brush camp. Who's to say they can't problem themselves the way to what seemed like an unwinnable game?
And you can see Score actually putting himself here, wanting to try and answer what could be The pick out onto UCal, which is certainly coming up, but it's a 2 versus 3, and Score taking the majority of the damage to start this one off. Never Move comes down. The CC chain is unstoppable from Hanwha, and they've got so much health. Linderung finishes it off with a cleaver as UCal wants to try and get Songyun, but look at this, he's so strong. Lamb's Respite now in there for Songyun as well, as True Shot Barrage was trying to find the Talon, but only finds a door as Marta sets himself up. Redemption here, as Songwon wants to keep his Smite safe off the back end, knowing half health bar is real difficult, and KT using flashes all over the place to try and get themselves a fight that they're looking for. Cosmic Radiance, a big cooldown now, is no longer there. There's Cannon Barrage getting a lot of damage down here for Smeb. UCal's on the bottom side of the map, knows that he's basically useless in this Baron fight, but can KT utilize the softened up members and try and grab some kills? This is really dangerous, as there is no Smite actually around the pit. They are going to be able to lock that one down. It's in fact the Ezreal that gets it, but can the Talon get an inhibitor as the trade? Because that's probably worth for KT, and they're trying to chase this one out.
Maybe looking for a kill.
Yeah, Lava does have the... No, he doesn't. Okay, Zhonya's was available as... Oh, piercing arrow almost was enough. And that, in fact, saves the inhibitor on the bottom side.
You see how difficult it is to stick something when there's so much map mobility. The inhibit turret, as the OGN Observer shows, does go down. They get the Baron, they lose it on Lava and his flash, so his ability to slow people down is going to be tricky. KT Rolster, the moment they lost their Smite, it seemed like that would be the beginning of the end. But they were able to turn things around, get some objectives, and the game does extend with a lot of doubt over whether it will be Hanwha Life Esports or KT winning game number 2.
And look, UCal's doing as much as he possibly can to hold on to some relevance. Even more Armor Shred coming in now with the Black Cleaver done. He's got a decent amount of CDR as well on top of that, so should be able to get some work done. But we saw what Songyun did. He just pressed his Seraph's Embrace button and Arcane shifted over a wall. And if UCal had bounced over that wall recently, there was no way that he could get him. He does a hell of a lot of damage.
And I think in fights, they still just don't have the tools to deal with as much sustain and vulnerability. Just amusing interactions that Hanwha Life Esports have piled together. But it's not, shouldn't be about the team fights. It was a mistake for Score to be so far up. But they were able to poke, they were able to siege. It's all about the side lane, the side of KT. Returning to that inhibitor is going to be tricky. But Hanwha Life's hard engage is almost nil. And that's the struggle they have right now.
Yeah, they need KT to come to them. If there's ever a team that wants to do that, though, KT's certainly going to put their hands up. Getting a siege on their terms is what they're looking for, though, and this Gangplank is massive.
Want to fight around objectives. Elder spawns in 10 seconds. Hanwha Life would like to set up around that and force KT to them. But KT doesn't have any incentive to go to them. They just want to buy time for UCal to split push. Right now, very shallow on the map. We can see at the inner turret up top. Even him being revealed allows Hanwha Life to just push us 5, try to get some control over mid.
Yeah, what does Hanwha Life do to try and find a fight in their favor? They're going to group as 5, they're going to look for a pick or a member of KT that steps a foot out of line. Currently they're not doing that, as a big barrel is going to come in once again. Smeb looking for the Mundo, who has got himself into a decent position.
Oh, does he?
Now the Gargoyle Stoneplate's going to be used, so he's a brick wall. Cosmic Radiance comes down. The Mundo, more unkillable than he ever was, and Score is going to be the one to fall. Talon, putting on pressure on the top side, is about to get to another inhibitor turret, and they've got to go home. They've got empowered recalls. They are going to at least get a few people to leave. Score doesn't have his Smite, but UCal has his.
They're 2 teleports, but they're onto the Elder. They'll shred this quick, but KT's there to contest.
Yeah, and UCal not going to be able to grab too much more. Cannon Barrage comes down, as well as Hanwha Life still a lot of tools available to them to try and hold on to their lives. Cosmic Radiance going to be up relatively soon, but they still had the Demon Flare, the Demonic Ascension, as well as Lamb's Respite from Songwon. So that will be the Elder Drake and the Baron buff now in the hands of Hanwha Life.
I think KT's defensive formation around these objectives, where Score has gone down twice, let them down, as they haven't been able to fully disengage. They have so much poke that taking objectives under the nose of the Varus in particular should be nigh on impossible. The GP getting in those guaranteed crit barrels as well. And yet, it has been Elder to the side of Hanwha. It has been Baron to their side. And enough of those stacking buffs. We already talked about the defensive use of some of those ults. At some point, if you don't have engage, how about you throw on a Cosmic Radiance and just turret dive?
Yeah, just run at them. Certainly is an option. Sungyun, he ain't getting any stronger this game. He's filled up all 6 slots. Might be getting rid of those Ninja Tabis to get himself a Mercurial Scimitar or something like that, but I highly doubt it. He's feeling in a great position now on the Ezreal. We know that double tier Ezreal is a late game scaling build. And, we'll see whether Sungyun can find himself the fights that we're talking about, the fights that Hanwha Life can actually orchestrate a winning outcome.
Push up here.
Oh, the barrels.
Again, remember, they have almost no force, so not the easiest here for Hanwha Life.
The KT does not want to fight these guys. Half the health bar on the inner turret for free.
Probably going to be much more of a siege by Mundo than by these 4 because of the nature of a flanking Talon and the decent wave clear on the side of KT.
Yeah, still pushing up, but you're right, because of that wave clear. Gonna have the backdoor bonus available for these turrets, and they're gonna have to wait for the next wave. But finally, it is gonna go down. No more Baron buff, remember.
Do they press their buttons and try to get it here? They probably should. They should walk up.
Chains of Corruption are going to land, so now might be the wombo combo to come in from KT.
Oh!
But, oh god, the True Shot Barrage does so much damage. Yeah, Def now has to stand all the way out the back, and Smeb, he's in trouble. The Flash Forward Marta saves his life. Always coming through in the clutch is the KT support, but it's not going to be enough. And the inhibitor going to go down. Could be a second one as well, as Hanwha Life are feeling frisky. The base, it's slow moving this composition, but it feels like it's working for Hanwha Life Esports in game 2.
5 seconds left on the burn of the true damage. It will time out now. Will KT try a fight?
Yeah, some big barrels to come down as Yukal has turned up as well, but it's 2 inhibitors, and KT had to just watch it happen.
Yukal can just do nothing. They have no way to win a 5v5. This is the out-comping we were talking about in the teamfight phase. Getting the teamfight with no engage, tricky. At the moment that you're fighting under enemy structures and not dying, the damage was outrageous from the Ezreal. Deft could play no League of Legends in that siege. Doesn't have lifesteal in the build either, only now building a Vampiric Scepter. Hanwha Life, job done. They got 2 inhibitors, they back away. Barons in 40 seconds. KT, will they be able to pull out a miracle and get a second consecutive steal to maybe just extend the game to another loss?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's feeling like Hanwha Life have got themselves to a point where they can just straight up win. Sungyun's just sold his Iceborne Gauntlet. He doesn't care anymore. He traded it in for the upgraded version in the Trinity Force. Probably got way more gold than he knows what to do with right now, as we've got a 6-item Mundo on the top side with the most unkillableness on display. It's just a very scary proposition for KT fans, or for fans of League of Legends, because we might have another back-to-back 2-0-2-0. It's not the way we were expecting, though. KT coming off brilliant performance in Rift Rivals, which means that it's exactly what we were expecting.
And be a Rift Rivals hangover if the 2 Rift Rivals teams go down collectively 4-0.
Yeah.
And you know that staying in Korea and getting those scrim times seems to have been put to good use by Hanwha Life, have been credited for taking the Afrika school of thought and just scrimming both in terms of their internal 10 players, but also around Korea and putting in a lot of practice hours. They seem to be paying off. They seem like they're more on the point. As KT, can they contest this Baron?
Well, Nevermove's going to come down from Lava. They're looking to try and take down Marta. Half the health bar of this Baron is Sungyun. He's just playing defense mode. Oh, you can't get hit by that, as Deft has to flash out of the way yet again. Score defensive ultimate, but that's not how they want to use it. And now Hanwha Life, this is the fight that they wanted. Linderong's just going to walk at the Varus. Yukal trying to be relevant, but he can't, because they've got so much invulnerability, and it's the Ezreal that takes him down. Double kill now for Lava. The 6-item Swain. Teleport from Song. He just wants to finish the game himself. He's done with this. He wants to go home, and it looks like Hanwha Life Esports will be able to. 2-0. Songwon hasn't even died on Score's signature pick in the Kindred. It's a beautiful performance, and Hanwha Life, you know never to underestimate them, but you never know when they're going to strike like this.
And it means that KT Rolster finished 5-4 in the first round robin. Hanwha Life have another game to go, and they could actually eclipse KT in the first round robin as well. So big result for them. They were the team that were always good to a point, but not good enough to actually close out against some of the big opposition around Korea. That means in the first round robin, they have now beat the FLICKR Freaks and KT Rolster.
And almost beat Griffin in their first match
while
as well.
also beating the teams below them. Usually, you put those two things together, you match it in the second round robin, that means they're going to playoffs.
Yeah. And Hanwha Life could only get better and better as well, given the fact that they've only recently got this huge sponsorship. As far as support staff and support for this team, remember, it's a 10-man squad now. Going from the Rocks Tigers that didn't have a whole lot now to having so many resources behind them, you can see why the improvements are coming in. Absolutely loved the draft. I loved Key's play today. I feel like all the players are leveling up together.
The KT Rolster side will be the one that most fans focus on, and this is the team that people felt cheated. Why couldn't they come in against RNG? We'll never know how that would have gone. KT looked wonderful on the international stage, but this is the same team a couple of days later on a patch they've already played 4 times. Just being second best to Hanwha Life, it's the reality that there is always the potential for them to disappoint. I thought Score was very disappointing today in some of his positioning. Some of their team comps are a bit half thought out in terms of how they would be able to enact them. I thought if you're going to run Double Smite and Talon, there was not enough work done in the early game. Yukar was only able to kill the enemy mid lane and no more. And then we reach a tipping point where they can't team fight because of all the ultimates on the side of Hanwha Life. So credit the Hanwha Life draft, the question marks for the KT draft, and a lot to improve on for KT Rolster.
Yeah, and you saw just how incredibly blocked out of doing anything ever Yukar was. Dives into the backline, the dream for the Talon. There's a support and AD carry standing on their own.
It felt like
didn't matter.
It felt like 5 members of the enemy team were being ganked. That's what that team fight looked like. Because everyone was just like, what do I do? I'm alone, I'm outnumbered. That's what happens when you have a composition like Hanwha Life put together. There are their million players and staff in the booth. They've got that big sponsor, one of the biggest companies in Korea. And while the players haven't changed, the fortunes seem only on the up.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I want to brag a little bit, Papa, because when we were on the bus together this morning, I was like, I have a feeling it's just going to be Songwon making Score look silly today. That's going to be the way KT disappoints all their fans. And that's basically exactly what happened.
It's not the time to brag. KT is on the low, but we did both predict a Hanwha Life 2-0, so we did see it coming.
Yeah. One of those. We saw it coming because we absolutely didn't see it coming. And as soon as you don't see it coming, that's when it's
But now we can backfill with actual reasoning rather than lol up and down KT roller coaster.
Yeah.
Hanwha Life drafted better. They played to their win conditions. I thought they were patient. The moment we saw the second tier, we're like, of course, by time. It's going to be ELO Heaven at the late game. That looked pretty free to me when it comes to ELO Heaven team fights. It seemed impossible for them to lose.
And I just want to talk about the draft, because today we've had 2 2-0s, our Rift Rivals teams falling down, and look, 8.13 has been a really weird patch where we've got so many different styles being employed. And look, Smeb did a hell of a lot of damage, but it was this slow-moving, invulnerability-based composition that wins out in the end. Yet another comp to add to the plethora of others that we've seen on this patch, utilized effectively.
And it was a nice support counter pick again. The Nami in game 1 was a cheeky triple kill, but still, it was used to good effect. And in this game, they saw the Braum, they went for the Taric, and it's an old counter pick, it's an old comfortable matchup. Tom Kench versus Taric, Braum versus Taric. That's where we saw Taric in the past. He's finally split from his jilted lover, Master Yi. They are no longer an item, but now he's just played as a situational power pick in his own right. And I love this combination of the Kindred with the Taric. Maybe we'll even see Kindred Taric Galio for the other kind of playmaking comp, because Galio Kindred's another one of our favorites.
Yeah, it is, and that's just with a whole lot of knock-up synergy with the fact that you can keep someone alive for so long. But who's going to pick up the MVP and who is going to be joining Key in our interview? It is going to be Songwon, 4-0 and 4 on the Kindred. Back-to-back Kindred performances, and both were good.
4-0-4, KT Rolster, hope not found in this particular game.
Yeah.
Nicely done by Songwon, showing us the power pick Kindred might become more and more common, and maybe forcing even Score to reevaluate how high up the tier list that Kindred is.
Exactly, it might be a ban. 4-0-4 Kindred not found in our next few games could be potentially what it is, Papa. So many options for that particular one. As this was the botch dive to begin this game, but it didn't feel like the game was all over after this point.
At some point, I know you killed Taric, but turret diving a Kindred just doesn't sound very appetizing. Went up 1 for 1, but When 1-for-1 is the best case scenario, probably got some of your math equations off, and Seongwon was just in the right part of the map again and again. For counter ganks, for ganks, very nicely executed, as amusingly Ezreal would have picked up that kill. But by the end, it's level 17, it's a huge lead. Able to roll over the enemy team, and not even Mata sparing the blushes of his teammate with a flash is going to change the result.
Yeah, it was just really nicely orchestrated, I think, on the side of Hanwha Life. Understanding the patch and demonstrating the fact that, you know, it may not just be a Freak of Freaks that are our drafting geniuses here, and they fell down against the genius of Griffin. Seems like our up-and-coming teams really are outthinking a lot of our older ones.
And now I want to see the other two Rift Rivals teams to see what the final score is, because currently, if you went to Rift Rivals, it's 0-4.
Yeah, I want to see SKT yet again, but guys, what we're going to see is the MVP interview. So let's throw it over to Joel for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your interview translations for the very last time of the night, and we're joined in by Hanwha Life Esports, who has looked really good on today's games, beating out 2-0 against KT Rolster. We'll talk to the MVPs of that game to see how they felt. 100 point. You're a rookie in this interview stage. Anything you want to say? Support Nami, and that gets you the first MVP of the season. In recent practice, I've been practicing up the Nami, and utilization is really well, and depending on how well you use it, I thought it was theoretically a good pick to work with in this patch, and it got me the MVP in the end, so I'm pretty proud of that. Did you feel like you were maybe expecting the MVP with the Nami, but at the same time with the Kindred is a pick that you got the MVP on someone? Do you feel like it's a good pick right now? I didn't think it's the best. It wasn't the best pick, but I knew that Score liked to pick the Kindred, so just taking it away was part of the strategy there. In the first game, we actually saw you giving away the first blood over to Score. You were talking about it just a bit earlier. I'm sure something that you guys thought you didn't expect it. When I saw Score, when he plays one of those champions that can go over walls, he likes to do that, and I thought that he might be here, but I thought that I was gonna win actually when I was actually finding this one. If I avoided with the flash, I would have definitely won out that fight, but I think that was kind of my hands didn't react fast enough on that one, so kind of hoping that the flash button actually worked out, but it never actually went off in time. Yeah, we actually thought that someone would have gotten the kill there, but he died there, so. But he told us that he definitely died, so he confirmed that death that he did not win out on. But I think he could have done a little bit better on that instance. And let's go over to King on that Nami to see what type of super plays you made to get that MVP. Weren't you scared in this instance where you guys really just came down very much on losing end? And I knew that the aggro was really crazy there, and I knew that if we fought that correctly, we would have gotten the double kill in the first place. But I didn't know that Nami was this strong actually, so you know, when I was trying to get the W, get the Qs right, and ease and everything, I'm trying to get one kill at a time. I ended up with a triple kill, felt pretty good on that one. Did you feel like it was more of a mistake coming from KT Rolster more than you guys doing better? Yeah, it was supposed to be a losing fight, definitely, but I think I was a little bit lucky, to be honest, because the skills definitely all connected very nicely on that one. I mean, Sangin was saying that, you know, he died and he was feeling pretty sad, but ever since he saw that one kill, then the second kill, then the third kill, he was feeling pretty happy, so his frown went up to smiles after that one. What did he have to tell you that one? When I try to pick up some CS, he gets pretty mad at me, but I knew that next time I told him to allow me to take some credit on that one, allow me to take some resources. Maybe that will pay me off in a little bit better next time. And I know that, you know, if I get better items than the opponent's support, and that's always a good thing for our team, so kind of that logic on that one.
먹으면 되지 않을까 싶습니다. 성환 선수 킨드레드를 두 번.
And someone, you did play the Kindred 2 times in a row, and really against the assassin comp brought by the opponents, and we thought that Kindred would not have worked out, but really surprising plays that came out. A 3-year veteran that was really served of your concentration. Yeah, I was really pinned in the bot lane tower, and I really couldn't do much after that. I just had to be a little bit flexible for what I had. And let's look at some of those examples right here. This was where he was pinned right here. We thought that would have been dangerous, but what was the communication here? I mean, it definitely wasn't chaotic at all, as something that you probably wouldn't expect, but I knew exactly, the 3-year veteran status gets me to focus on that instance and allows me to pull that off with ease. I mean, I caught off as for the first player out, so I knew that, if I was a little bit rushed on that one, so that's the reason. But I was really calm, and I was really poised and pulling off the play, so I don't know about Keith, but for me, I was very calm on that one. So taking it slow, taking it calm, and that was the right play for me. But I feel like, yeah, I think someone's right. Ever since he pulled that off so calmly, it brought calamity to my heart as well. And wasn't it a very kind of risky composition for you guys to bring that on? It's really tough because with Tarek and Kindred, we have to make sure who gets the ultimate off first, and we knew that the communication definitely was needed, and we tried to do our best on that part. It just felt like you guys' confidence on the team fight was on the next level here. And we had the swing, we had all these lifesteal champions and all these invincibilities. We knew that if we can get sooner, better and better as we get to the late game, I knew our confidence was only going to get better higher. And Key, I mean, you were not putting any damage in that game number 2. I mean, Sangyun was very unique in the way he picks up his items for his builds, but whenever he tries to not die, right, and I have to make sure I do my purpose and do my role in to get that done. And in the second game, we thought that it wasn't the most fast-paced game, but at the same time, did you feel like where do you make the initiative to kind of turn the shift around in terms of changing the pace of the game to make sure you guys get the advantage onto it? I mean, Sangyun always tells us this though. We're always the animals in the fields, just listening out to the calls, and we are kind of always aware of where our status is and where our position is at the right time. So. But we have to relax at all times to make sure we're aware of where our positioning is, where our power level is at all times as well. It just feels like someone's having a hard time being the relaxed one in the fields, but I hope he joins us pretty soon on that one. And you were talking about just getting out of that field, as you were saying, right near that nexus. We thought that we would actually get the nexus, should be fine, and at the same time, Sangyun was telling us that we should go back to the fields and relax once again, and just to try to retreat back. But at the same time, today's win also brings up Hanwha to higher levels and gets you guys now into a status of whether you can get to playoffs or not. And I know that this win should help you guys a lot in that perspective. And Key, anything like say to your current status? And today's wins gets us to 5 wins, but we're not completely satisfied with that. We're going to try to get more wins after this. Hopefully we can do that happen. with the Kindred. Wonderful plays today. Someone, what you like to say?
네, 항상 응원해주시는 팬분들.
We always like to thank the fans for always cheering for us, and of course the business insiders obviously at Hanwha, and
마냥 좋진 않았는데.
our team wasn't at the best situation, but the coaching staff helped us so much, so we'd like to thank them as well. So always showing the appreciation means that the appreciation went the long way, and these guys are now still looking good on the upper level, and as well as Hanwha Life Esports with the interview. Sending off to you guys for the rest of the broadcast.
Thank you very much, Joel. Great to hear from Key and Songwon as we have a look 2-0 Hanwha Life Esports over KT Rolster. A lot of the cynical KT fans would have expected it, but damn, it was done in pretty clean fashion and with really intriguing compositions as well.
And leaving the memes aside, Hanwha, I think, had some great tools in the draft.
Yeah.
The Nami was, again, more about misexecution by KT, but still piloted well by Key in game number 1. Songwon made the Kindred work, and that means that KT Rolster finished 5-4. That is not necessarily top 5 pace, and certainly not top 2 pace. But KT Rolster, remember, we have the Gauntlet system. Finishing high in the regular season is so important to skip best of 5s. They're going to want to make a run. They're going to need to start making it soon. That ends their first round robin. We could see Hanwha Life Esports join a big group of teams at 6-3.
Yeah, Hanwha Life still have one more to go. And so, yeah, KT Rolster could be affirmed in that 6th place because there's no chance they can get there.
We've got some hype matchups this week. None more hype than the first one tomorrow, baby.
Yes!
BBQ Olivers versus Jin Air. This is very much the relegation final in that only one team can exit the first round robin with a win. They both come in 0-8.
Yep, someone is going to be disappointed. I feel like it's been incredibly competitive so far this season, apart from these two teams. So one of them has to try and pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
If there's ever going to be a glad plane, it probably has to be tomorrow, Atlas. Otherwise,
yeah,
we're going to have a lot of PTSD about sad planes. Guys, for OGN this week, the Friday broadcast will not be SPO TV. The OGN, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and of course today's Wednesday broadcast. 4 days in a row. The fantastic run will continue. Zooming in on tomorrow, after the aforementioned relegation final, we have Kingzone. And what if they lose 2-0 to MVP and extend this Rift rival streak even further?
Yeah, it could be an absolute disaster. As Kingzone Dragon X certainly do have a lot of pressure on their backs to bounce back from a terrible performance in Rift Rivals. So guys, well, I don't know what we should do. Should we try and give them more, or should we take it away? I don't understand. Is it better to be an MVP fan for Kingzone? I don't know.
I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers to anything Kingzone related international, but they're back in Korea. Usually that's a good sign for them.
But also it's a new patch and there's a lot of crazy things going on. That could be a good sign for MVP. So maybe we'll just get some good League of Legends. But guys, there is so much this week. We'll see you again tomorrow night. For now, good night.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No accusation, but